The only thing that I'm now remembering is that one experiment they did, or a series of them, they'd have a hotel room with a one-way mirror.
Yeah.
And they just get people in there. They just the suited up CIA agents to just sit there and watch people losing their minds.
Matt, are you reading my
and
notes?
then I think they started taking the drugs on the other side. Oh, well, I'll let you tell.
No,
us.
no, no,
I'd just quickly correct. A one-way mirror is just a mirror. You're talking about a two-way mirror. You said a one-way mirror. That is just that's just a mirre.
That's how high these people were. They're like, oh my God, what's happening over there? Look at this weirdo.
Can we get a one-way mirror in this room, please? A two-way mirror is
No, a two-way mirror is a window.
no.
Yeah.
I think what we're talking about, where you can see through it, but it looks like a mirror on the other side. That's a two-way mirror, I think.
Yes, that's the thing I mean to say. Whatever that's called.
No, okay, so Matt, go on. So this is Operation Midnight Climax. This was, oh my God, I just got that.
Yes.
I just got it.
There can't be.
I think that's what that police officer saw. The guy came into your school whenever he closed his eyes.
Yeah, that's right.
No, go on, Matt. What do you
That
remember
is so
about that?
good.
What do you remember about?
I remember. I think it was pretty crook, wasn't it? It was sort of like, yeah, it was. I think maybe a woman was paid by the CIA to lure men back to a hotel room, and then the CIA agent, and then she'd give them LSD, and then the agents would just watch what happened.
Yeah.
And they're calling this science, and it's for the good of the country.
There's all sorts of
Exactly.
weird
Midnight climax.
There's all sorts of weird stuff like that in history where, like, even like when like the car companies were, when the government was trying to get past legislation that meant that cars had to have seatbelts, the car companies just like hired a bunch of prostitutes and got them to go and try and flirt with politicians to try and like create.
Ralph Nader was one of them.
Yeah.
He was leading the movement, and then they like Ford or no, maybe GM, one of the big car companies hired women to basically set up Ralph Nader, and it backfired, and he ended up getting it through anyway. But yeah, wild that they would go to those lengths.
Yeah.
To not make their cars safer. So strange.
So I mean, yeah, you're spot on there with what happened. They hired sex workers to lure unsuspecting men into government safe houses, which was sort of hotels essentially.
Not very safe.
No, not very safe for the people involved. They would have their two-way mirrors. Sometimes they'd be drinking cocktails on the other side. They would literally just have the men sitting in there and watch to see what happened. Apparently there was a party-like atmosphere that sort of
But they had to be
came
very
up.
quiet, I assume.
I don't know.
A very quiet party.
I mean, I don't know. I feel like if someone's hallucinating on the other side of a mirror, you can get away with making a fair amount of noise. They're like, they're going to be hearing tons of stuff anyway, you know? They also ran experiments on prisoners. Whitey Bulger was apparently quite a famous mob guy from Boston. While he was in prison, they experimented on him. When he got out and realized what happened, he wrote a whole load about it, and then I guess promised to kill the man that that ran the experiments. The man died of natural causes, so he did not succeed, apparently. But yeah, and they did this to. I mean, they did this to so many people. They ran experiments in the army. There was a potential assassination of a man named Tom. No. Yes. No. Frank Olson.
Is that his name?
No.
Tom no yes no?
Tom no yes no. Tom no yes no. Frank Olson. Yeah. Apparently, he jumped from a building in New York, and apparently this was an assassination. But there's no proof of it because they destroyed all the evidence of everything.
Of course.
Yeah. They were giving it
When
to
you're the guy that makes the evidence, it's quite hard to have proof against you.
Exactly, right? And then it kind of came to an end. I mean, there were all those sort of experiments where they worked on prisoners, people in the army, as I said, random guys off the street. Basically anyone they could get their hands on. I mean, I think, I don't have the quote with me, but they literally, Sidney Gottlieb, he said, yeah, we went for the weak people that no one would care about. That's who they were going after. So they definitely knew they were the bad guys, I'm sure. And then they had to kind of bring it to an end when Richard Nixon did maybe one good thing, the one good thing he's ever done in his career. He came into power and got rid of the head of the CIA. And Gottlieb knew that once the head of CIA was gone, he was next. So he just went, sort of drove out to different facilities, destroyed as much of the evidence as he could, and then went and did all the stuff we mentioned up top, where he started a leper colony and cared for sick and dying people and bred
It
goats.
was just trying to have an alibi so people arrest him. He's like, whoa, I'm a great guy. I look after people. I do have a lot of volunteering. If that's a crime, again, lock me up. But